Hello everybody, I'm so glad you were able to join me and I hope you enjoy this video. Today I'm redesigning Toothiana from Rise of the Guardians, and I just want to say before that her original design is fantastic. I really like her original design and her colors. They're just amazing, but I just wanted to put my own spin on it to see how it would look in my personal style. So I started off the drawing with her figure, obviously, and I wanted to play with like exaggerating some of the shapes in her figure because I'm also kind of experimenting with what my style and how I want my style to look like. And I really think that I made some good progress in trying to find out what my style is within this painting, because like the sharp points like in her knee or at her hip or at her elbow, those are really like cool parts of her figure that I really enjoy. Kind of like that sharp edge mixed with a nice curve. Yeah. And in her design, I also wanted her to look more Indian because in the movie, the Tooth Palace, it kind of looked like it was inspired by the architecture in India or like the color palettes in India. And given that her colors are resemble a peacock, I thought it would be cool to make her design more Indian focused, but obviously her clothing is not super accurate. It's just inspired by the clothing of India, and I'm really happy with how the overall design for her turned out, and I think it makes her more personalized. And I also gave her a whip because everybody else, like all the other guardians, they have their own weapons. Like Santa has a sword and the Easter Bunny has a boomerang, and I thought it was a little weird that she doesn't have a weapon. So I gave her a whip because in the movie she's always talking about flossing, so I thought it would be cool if the whip was supposed to be like dental floss in a way. And I really like the whip. I think it gives her a lot of movement. And I'm working on the portrait because I like how the neck jewelry came out and like her earring, and I really wanted to focus more on that and show her personality more through her face. And I really love how the portrait came out. I feel like it's so simple, yet it really delivers that impact. Like it's the perfect amount of stylized that I want it to be. And I really love the long eyelashes because in the movie, Toothiana, she has these type of eyelashes that they're really long, but at the end of it, it's like a little circle. I don't know, but it's really nice, and I really wanted to incorporate that into the design. And now I'm just rendering her feathers, and I think this rendering gives it a really fun texture, which texture is something that I really want to experiment with my style. I really want to be able to incorporate different textures so that once you see it, you know how it feels. And I think that I did pretty good in delivering that in this piece because I feel like her feathers really look like feathers. And I added some kind of iridescence to it with that green and purple to make it look like a peacock in a way. And I really love how bright orange the fabric is. It complements her skin being blue so nicely, and I'm so happy with how the fabric turned out. I honestly think it's the best part of this fan art piece. I thought when I was doing it, the shading of the fabric looked a little dull, so I went over with an orange overlay layer and it brought those values out so much. And adding those bright highlights really makes the form like stand out. And I also had to trim her like feathers in the back to make it fit under the fabric because I had it over it, which didn't really make sense. Also, I added a little trimming around, like a little ribbon trimming around the fabric to really drive home that Indian inspired that Indian inspiration with her outfit. And I also really like the wings, and I wanted to talk about the wings a little bit because I feel like I could, like in a lot of fairy wings, they have that kind of wire framing to it, and it looks good, but I don't know if I didn't think that would be so good in her design because I feel like it would have made it look really clunky. and I think having them transparent like that looks really good. And rendering her tail feathers was a lot of fun as well. Something that I learned in this painting is that when I was doing the values, that I usually stick with, like, okay, the feathers are purple, so I would just choose different values within that specific purple. But something I learned in this piece is, okay, the feathers are purple, but the shading would be like a dark blue and the highlights would be a light pink. And I feel like using different colors to add the value to a singular color, it really makes it stand out. And yeah, I'm happy I learned that in this piece. And rendering the portrait was really fun. I wanted to make sure that I didn't overwork it, that it still delivers that kind of simplicity to it that the sketch has. And I feel like I did that pretty well, but there are some parts of this portrait that I think I overworked, which is something that I have to get over, because a lot of my paintings, I feel like I overwork some parts of it and I end up don't really liking it. I think I have to like find a mid-ground between having it really nicely rendered and having it stylized, like having that simplicity to it. So one, it doesn't take me forever to render it, and two, that you look at it and it delivers that impact. So yeah, that was it. That was the drawing, and I hope you guys really enjoy the video, and I hope you guys have a great day.